Hey y'all, so a couple of days ago on my live, I ended up talking about the Green New Deal, just very briefly, but over a couple of days, y'all, I had to let it sizzle in my spirit a little bit because I just had a little bit more to say after doing further research. So I'm sure you all know by now, Alexandria Cortez, the socialist sweetheart, is taking the media and social media world by storm. Well, initially, reading the Green New Deal, you would think, hey, this sounds awesome. Who doesn't want a greener earth? Who doesn't want to breathe fresher air? Who doesn't want jobs and opportunities and anti-discrimination? Well, that is until you actually start to look at the practicality of some of the initiatives put into this policy. So one of the first things I wanted to look at was universal income. Now, Finland just wrapped up an actual experiment where universal income was a failure. Let's take a look at that. So according to postandcourier.com, Finland's failed universal income experiment. Finland just concluded a 2-year experiment with universal basic income, an idea promoted by prominent figures on the right and left in U.S. politics as one answer to rising automation and the unequal distribution of income. The outcome, predictably, was disappointment. UBI advocates have been quick to say the experiment was not a proper test of the idea, but the findings should not be surprising. They say more about the way social welfare systems can trap people into poverty than they do about the value of putting more money in their pockets. In the experiment, the Finnish government gave a no conditions monthly payment of $634 to 2,000 unemployed people and compared the effects with a control group consisting of other unemployed people on welfare. One hope was that the extra money would encourage the recipients to look harder for work. The finding was that recipients of the payments were no better or worse than the control groups at finding employment in the open labor market. And that is according to the Finnish Labor Institute for Economic Research. The next thing I wanted to look at was these new modern high-speed rails that would get us quickly from one place to the other, greatly reducing airplanes and air travel. What? Right in our own backyard, California? Well, look, according to la.curb.com, new California governor hits brakes on high-speed rail to LA. I wonder why. During his first State of the State address Tuesday, California Governor Gavin Newsom revealed plans to dramatically scale back plans for a high-speed rail project, putting into doubt the train's eventual arrival in LA. Right now, there simply isn't a path to get from Sacramento to San Diego, let alone from San Francisco to LA, Newsom said Tuesday. The governor argued that delays and cost increases made it necessary to reduce the project's scale, at least temporarily. Let's be real, said Newsom. The current project as planned will cost too much and respectively take too long. There's been too little oversight and not enough transparency. Go figure. In 2008, when voters approved a bond measure funding the project, officials estimated it would cost $40 billion. But cost estimates have risen dramatically since then, and a business plan released last year indicated that connecting San Francisco to Anaheim would cost more than $77 billion. Interesting. So the person that estimated this, the mark by $37 billion to complete this project, interesting. And they didn't know until they were this far into the project? Okay, and finally, let's look at the last thing that I wanted to look at, which is pretty much the basis for the Green New Deal, which is to lessen carbon emissions. France is literally going into its 14th straight week of the yellow vest protesting. Now, this is a nationwide protest, okay, that has had about 32,000 protesters, 8,400 arrests, and about 10 deaths to this day. Do you know how this protest all started? Or you could will probably be more accurate for me to say one of the main reasons that it got this far was because of a carbon tax.
Violence has erupted again amid protests in France against fuel taxes and the government's economic agenda. Thousands have converged on the famed Champs-Élysées. Police deployed tear gas and water cannon. The demonstrators, who call themselves the Yellow Jackets, are upset about rising fuel prices and Emmanuel Macron's leadership. Macron has promised to lay out new plans on Tuesday to ease the situation.
Now, this is an article by realclearenergy.org that says the Green New Deal would cause a yellow vest movement in the U.S. While newly elected House Democrats call for a Green New Deal to tackle global climate change, thousands of Parisians are taking to the streets in violent protest of French President Emmanuel Macron's proposed fuel tax. Based on their demands, the so-called Gilets jaunes, are no Tea Party-like activists, but their response to elitist climate policies may be cause for alarm for Democrats wishing to implement similar policies in the United States. House Democrats take note. These protests left quite the carbon footprint. While France claims to be a leader in the fight against climate change, the nation's citizens are revolting against the mere baseline for climate mitigation policies. French drivers currently suffer a gas tax that amounts to roughly $6.57 per gallon in the US dollars. President Macron put his proposed gas tax increases on hold, but that's not the point. Eco-taxes on gasoline and carbon are devastating to working class people worldwide, and their cries for help are falling on deaf ears among out-of-touch environmentalist policymakers. Carbon taxes proposed in the Green New Deal, which are similar in principle and impact to President Macron's gas tax, are a major component of such climate policies. While a gas tax is levied upon units of fuel sold, a carbon tax is levied upon units of carbon dioxide emitted. Both make the price of energy more expensive, which increases the cost of manufacturing, shipping, and transportation for businesses. Companies offset these costs by passing them on to the consumer in the form of price increases. So y'all, here in the United States, we are literally being presented this shiny new green deal with a red bow on top, while Paris is freaking on fire. Finland has failed in universal income, and California cannot seem to finish their high-speed rail project. Now that leads me to many questions. The first being why? Why is this being presented to us when these policies are failing all across the world, some even right in our backyard? If you guys watched my video a couple of weeks back, I literally talked about the protest in France, the yellow jacket protest, the yellow vest protest. And my question at the end to the watchers were, why is there a blackout in the media of the yellow vest protest in the United States? Why is the American media hiding this from us, or not thoroughly telling us the real reason why these yellow vest protests are happening in France? Well, did we just find our answer? I don't know. Now it's like, what's really going on? So those are my thoughts. Leave y'all thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe.